Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy. An excerpt of the Masters in their retreats. Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy. Profiles of the Ascended Masters. Kuan Yin is revered in Buddhism as the compassionate savioress, the bodhisattva of mercy, beloved as a mother figure and divine mediatrix who is close to the daily affairs of her devotees. Kuan Yin's role as a Buddhist Madonna has been compared to that of Mary, the mother of Jesus in the West. Throughout the Far East, devotees seek her guidance and succor in every area of life. Altars dedicated to Kuan Yin can be found in temples, homes, and wayside grottos. The name Kuan Yin, as she is often called, means the one who regards, looks on, or hears the sounds of the world. According to legend, Kuan Yin was about to enter heaven, but paused on the threshold as the cries of the world reached her ears. Kuan Yin is revered as a protectress of women, sailors, merchants, craftsmen, those under criminal prosecution, and those desiring progeny. There is an implicit trust in Kuan Yin's saving grace and healing powers. Many believe that even the simple recitation of her name will bring her instantly to the scene. Kuan Yin's crystal rosary contains her mantras and is a powerful means of invoking her intercession. For centuries, Kuan Yin has epitomized the great ideal of Mahayana Buddhism in her role as bodhisattva, literally a being of bodhi, or enlightenment, who is destined to become a Buddha, but has foregone the bliss of nirvana with a vow to save all children of God. Kuan Yin has taken the bodhisattva vow to work with the evolution of this planet and this solar system, to show them the way of the teachings of the Ascended Masters. Kuan Yin was worshipped in China before the advent of Buddhism and thereafter adopted by Buddhists as an incarnation of Avalokitesvara, Padmanabhani, devotees invoking the Bodhisattva's power and merciful intercession with the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. Hail to the jewel in the lotus, or, as it has been interpreted, hail to Avalokitesvara, who is the jewel of the heart of the lotus of the devotee's heart. According to the legend, Avalokitesvara was born from a ray of white light that Amitabha, the Buddha of boundless light, emitted from his right eye as he was lost in ecstasy. Thus, Avalokitesvara, or Kuan Yin, is regarded as the reflex of Amitabha, a further emanation of embodiment of Mahakaruna, great compassion. The quality that Amitabha embodies, devotees believe that Kuan Yin, as the merciful redemptress, expresses Amitabha's compassion in a more direct, personal way, and that prayers to her are answered more quickly. It is widely believed that Kuan Yin took embodiment as the third daughter of Miao Chuanwang, identified with the Zhou dynasty, a ruler of the northern Chinese kingdom about 700 BC. According to the legend, she was determined to devote herself to a religious life. She refused to be married despite the command of her father and the entreaties of her friends. Finally, however, she was permitted to enter the nunnery of the White Bird in Longshu, Hessian. Here, at her father's orders, she was put to the most demanding tasks which in no way dampened her zealous love for God. Angered by her devotion, her father ordered her to be executed, but when the sword touched her, it broke into 1,000 pieces. Her father then commanded her to be stifled. But when her soul left her body and descended into hell, she transformed it into paradise, carried on a lotus flower to the island of Putu near Nimpo. She lived for 9 years, healing the diseased and saving mariners from shipwreck. It is said that once When word was brought to her that her father had fallen ill, she cut the flesh from her arm and used it as a medicine that saved his life. In gratitude, he ordered that a statue be erected in her honor, commissioning the artist to depict her with completely formed arms and eyes. The artist misunderstood, however, and to this day, Kuan Yin is sometimes shown with 1,000 arms and 1,000 eyes, thereby able to see and assist masses of her people. Kuan Yin ministration is very real and as ancient as the hills. The vow taken by the bodhisattva to stand with humanity is a sacred calling. However, she cautions us against taking it ourselves unless we thoroughly understand the service of these dedicated ones. Being one with all of life, we are aware of all life in its manifestation from the highest to the lowest. This is part of the bodhisattva ideal, which is a part of those who stand with humanity, and there are quite a number upon this planet, although few compared to those who go their own way of riotous living. It is a very high and holy order, and I suggest that you think long and hard about this calling before you respond and say, I will do the same. For when eons pass and men are not moved by the flame that you hold, remember that you might wish that you had chosen another easier or more gratifying way. As the centuries pass, the thousands of years and the cycles, and the same individuals whom you have nourished by the power of your own heart flame are involved in the same involvements in the world, you find that you cry out to God and say, O Lord, how long will this wayward generation be in coming to the knowledge of their divinity and the love of the sacred fire that we have held for so long? Kuan Yin represents the qualities of mercy and compassion to the evolutions of earth. The mercy flame is the means whereby the Christ intercedes on behalf of those who have erred, who cannot bear the full blunt of the law that demands swift recompense for each violation. The qualities of mercy tempers the return of mankind's own karma, staying the hand of justice until that time when individuals are able to stand, face, and conquer their own human creation. Kuan Yin tells us that mercy is the quality of love that smooths the rough places of life, that heals the sores of the etheric body, that mends the cleavages of mind and feelings, that clears away the debris of sin and the sense of struggle before these manifest in the physical body as disease, decay, disintegration, and death. Mercy is the strongest power in the universe, Kuan Yin says, for it is the power of the will of God. The power of mercy is the intensity of love that will dissolve all fear, all doubt, all recalcitrance, and rebellion within the race. The mercy of the law is sometimes very stern, but it is always patient, always tolerant, and it sees the flame within the heart rising, rising, rising to meet the Christ. Kuan Yin reminds us when we feel the need of greater strength, of illumination, of greater purity and healing, remember that all these qualities come to you from the heart of God by the power of the flame of mercy itself. For in forgiveness there comes renewed opportunity to fulfill the law, and without forgiveness little progress can be made. Therefore, in order to re-enter the walk with God, we need forgiveness. When we invoke it, let us realize that our own Christ self is our psychiatrist, our psychologist, our minister, our priest, our rabbi, our friend, the one to whom we should go daily to unburden ourselves, as the American Indians did. They made a circle around the campfire at night and discussed the events of the day, and all that they didn't like they threw into the flames. It is the same principle that has been taught in every religion of the world. When we put it into the flame, we can go to bed at night in peace. Much insomnia is caused because we are not releasing our daily karma, our daily burdens, and therefore we are not at peace with ourselves and with God. We have a need for confession, a need to tell God what we have done. That is not in keeping with His law. Until we tell him about it and ask for his flame of forgiveness to pass through us, we have the sense of guilt, fear, shame, and above all, separation from him. Today, this is manifest in all kinds of mental and emotional despairs, split personalities, hatred of father and mother, hatred of children, and many other problems to which modern society has fallen prey. The path back to the Guru, the inner Christ, is calling upon the law of forgiveness. Forgiveness is something we need to invoke not only for ourselves, we need to invoke it for every part of life. All who have ever wronged us, all who have ever wronged. Saint Germain teaches us that when we invoke forgiveness, it must be by a very intense love in our heart. We need to let each other know that we forgive and that we are asking for forgiveness. And it is a point of humanity to say, I've done wrong, and I ask you and God to forgive me. When we invoke the law of forgiveness, it bursts like fireworks in the aura as violet, purple, and pink, dissolving unpleasant conditions in our world, and it begins to intensify until great spheres of energy are going forth from our heart and inundating the world. You may visualize a loved one, a child, a self-styled enemy, a political figure. You may visualize an entire city, the government, the whole nation, or the planet within this brilliant sphere of mercy's flame, becoming the recipient of waves and waves of this wine of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a law, and by this law our sins are set aside to give us the opportunity to develop the Christ consciousness. Training in the law of forgiveness is necessary. Kuan Yin instructs us, for it is indeed the foundation of the Aquarian age. Forgiveness is not the balance of karma, it is the setting aside of karma, whereby you are given the freedom and renewed creativity to conquer, to go forth, to make things right without that heavy burden, that weight of sin. And when you come to the place where you have further attainment, then according to the law of forgiveness, that karma that was set aside is returned to you. And in your heightened state of consciousness in the plane of self-mastery, you are quickly able to place in the flame that substance for transmutation and to pursue your high calling. There is a difference between the forgiveness of sin and their transmutation. Someone may steal your purse and later tell you that he is sorry he took it. You may forgive him, but the matter is not closed. Karmically speaking, until he returns that purse to you with every penny intact or makes whatever restitution is necessary, forgiveness is not the balancing of karma. It is the setting aside of karma whereby you are given the freedom to make things right without the heavy burden of sin. The foundation of the path of the abundant life or of science is forgiveness. It is the resolution of harmony between every part of God. It is an intense love action of the freedom flame. The energies of the violet flame, the energies of God, are always pulsating, always moving, and they are transmuting the record of the subconscious. Forgiveness is the fulfillment of the law in Isaiah. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If you expect forgiveness, then you must be ready to forgive 70 times 7, as the Master Jesus taught. In small ways and in great ways, mankind are tested. Kuan Yin says, and the bigotry that remains in the consciousness of some is also a lack of forgiveness. Those who cannot forgive their fellow man because they do not think or worship as they do, these have the hardness of heart that encases the flame of love and also prevents the flow of wisdom. The mercy of the law is like a two-way street. It is the signal that you send to God and the signal that He returns. A two-way street means the give and take with God. If you expect mercy from God, then you must give mercy to every part of life. The fulfillment of the law of mercy must be for the ultimate liberation of each and every soul. Thus, as we forgive life, life forgives us. Time and time again, we have all heard of the cliche, let bygones be bygones, forgive and forget. This is so true because if you can still resurrect the memory of the wrong that has been done to you, then you have not truly forgiven. In order to forgive, the record and the memory must be dissolved from your consciousness. Kuan Yin tells us that if this is not the case, not only have you not truly forgiven, but you have hardened your heart. You have stored the record as a squirrel with his nuts deep within the subconscious. Deep in the etheric plane, you have stored the record of that wrong. You have not released it into the flame. You have not been willing to let go and let God be free to express in those who have wronged you, in those whom you have wronged. One of the best ways to accomplish this complete forgiveness and forgetting is by the use of the science of the spoken word, accompanied by visualization in the mantra for forgiveness written by Amora in his heart, head, and decrees. I am forgiveness acting here, casting out all doubt and fear, setting men forever free, with wings of cosmic victory. I am calling in full power for forgiveness every hour. To all life and every place, I fled forth forgiving grace. And again with more authority. I am forgiveness acting here, casting out all doubt and fear, setting men forever free, with wings of cosmic victory. I am calling in full power for forgiveness every hour. To all life in every place, I fled forth forgiving grace. As you give this prayer daily, you may wish to visualize the flame of mercy, which are a lovely pink-violet color, unfolding your being and removing the cause and core of many wrongs of the past. It is possible to experience a great sense of relief from burdens you may have been carrying for centuries as you call for forgiveness for your sins, even those of which you may not be aware in this embodiment, and then truly accept God's grace and forgiveness that He is extending to you through the gift of His violet transmuting flame. The color violet has many hues, ranging from the orchid pink of mercy flame, containing a great saturation of the pink ray of God's love, to the deep purple flame that embodies more of the blue of the will of God. The purple flame has a greater electronic cleansing action, which, when used alternately with the healing green decrees, will effectively purify and heal the four lower bodies, especially the etheric body, the memory body, of the records of the past that may be buried deep within the subconscious. To invoke this flame, take any violet flame decree and substitute the word purple for violet. Oftentimes it is more difficult to penetrate to the etheric body than to any of the other lower bodies, and therefore the repetition of the mantra 36 times can be very effective in clearing old records of past momentums. Kuan Yin reminds us of another facet of the flame of mercy as she says, "For many of you I have pleaded before the lords of karma for the opportunity to embody, to behold, to not have dealt to you in the physical the great karma of being maimed or blinded at birth that some of you have deserved. I have interceded with the flame of mercy on your behalf so that you could pursue in the freedom of a sound mind and body the light of the law. Some who have been denied the mercy by the lords of karma are today in the institutions for the insane. For them it was meted that they should experience the agony of the absence of the presence of Christ's mind, that they might know what it is to defile that mind, that they might return to another life and appreciate the gift of reason, the gift to pursue the holy word incarnate by the power of the Logos. You do not realize how much has hung in the balance of your own life because mercy's flame has been available to you. You have called and God has answered, and through my heart and my hand mercy has flowed. I say this that you might also have the wisdom to understand that when mercy has been accorded for a time, you are expected to deliver the fruits of mercy, following the works of the Lord and the way of wisdom. The bodhisattva, Kuan Yin, is known as the goddess of mercy because she ensouls the God qualities of mercy, compassion, and forgiveness. She serves on the karmic board as the representative of the seventh ray, the violet ray. She also held the office of Kohan of the seventh ray for 2,000 years until Saint Germain assumed the office in the late 1700s. Kuan Yin ascended thousands of years ago and has taken the vow of the bodhisattva to serve planet Earth until all her evolutions are free. From her etheric retreat, the Temple of Mercy, over Peking, Beijing, China, she ministers to the souls of humanity, teaching them to balance their karma and fulfill their divine plan through loving service to life and application of the violet flame. Kuan Yin's flame is the color of orchids, the pink of divine love, tempering the blue of the will of God. Her flower is a pink and violet lotus. The center, being pink, is as the mercy flame, becoming deeper and deeper violet on the periphery.